Hey guys, Miss Piper. This week we're going to be working on interpreting data, which goes to, which is NC.4.MD.4. So I'm going to be writing some notes. This is kind of how we're going to have math this year. We're going to be doing notes. So we're going to put at the top, interpreting data, MD.4. All right, so some vocabulary that goes with this section is we have a bar graph, we have data, we have a line plot, and we'll go through and write down all of these, what the definition is. We have categorical data. We have frequency chart. Table, not a chart. We have numerical data. We have a category. We have interval. And we have scale. And we will look at each one of these. So I'll give you a second to finish writing the words down. Remember, you can pause the video and write from there. All right. All right, so our first vocabulary word for data is a bar graph. Now, to have a bar graph, you're going to need data. There's different types of data. There's categorical and there is numerical. Categorical would be like asking somebody what their favorite color M&M is. That would be a specific item. Numerical would be, you know, how many people have a shoe size that is, what's everybody's shoe size. So we would go around and check what everybody's shoe size is and then get all of our data together. And then we could do it on a bar graph or a frequency table. But let's start with data, because that would be a good starting point, because when we're talking about interpreting data, we gotta know what data is first. So let's write data. So data is a collection of facts gathered by observing, okay, can't talk today. It's a collection of facts gathered by observing, questioning, or measuring. So like I said, we could ask somebody what their favorite color M&M is. We could, that's questioning it. We can measure something by measuring how long something is by using a ruler, and we can observe something by just looking at what's going on. If, you know, we can make a chart of what the temperature is for the last 4 days just by observing what it feels like outside. Is it hot? Is it cold? Is it windy? Is it rainy? So that would be collecting data. So data is a collection of facts gathered by observing, just meaning something you just observe, something you see. Questioning, and or measuring. I'll get a different pen. This one's not working very well. Ooh, I'll move my camera. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. All right, our next vocabulary word that we can look at, let's look at the different types of data. So we have our, like we said, observing would be something you see. Let's break that down. Observing, something you can just look at or see. Then we have questioning. It means you can ask questions. You can get your information by asking questions, obviously. And then the last one is measuring. Measuring, it's just something that you have to do yourself. You can use a ruler, you can do a tally chart, just collecting information by measuring, observing. Keep turning my light off. Sorry guys. Oh, I can see that blue better. All right, so now let's look at the two different types of data. So I'm gonna put over here, types of data. That button. I was still gonna work through it. All right, so we have categorical, data, things moving. Sorry guys. My new tripod's not coming in until tomorrow. So categorical data is sorted into groups by category. So observation that can be sorted into groups or categories. An observation that can be sorted into groups or categories. So for example, we have shoe sizes, shoe colors, or we could do favorite vegetables. These are two examples. Sorry, I keep pulling the thing away. Our next type of data would be our numerical data. Numerical data is values that can be counted or measured or placed in order, such as dollars earned or minutes spent on homework. All right, so we have values. That can be counted or measured and placed in order. So for example, EX, meaning example, right it above. Minutes doing homework or dollars earned. So money earned. Or time. I'm going to flip over to the next page, but before you move over to the other side, if you want to pause the video so you can finish writing these notes, that's perfectly fine. Just whenever you finish, just start the video back again. All right, so we've talked about different types of data. I'll go back to my page here. Yep, right over here. So now, let's look at different types of ways of showing data. All right, I'll put types of tables to display data. So many of you have probably seen some of these types of graphs. So we have a bar graph. Bar graph just shows the amount of something. So I will just kind of, let's just pretend we're doing everybody's favorite number between 1 and 3. All right, so on the bottom would be what we collected, our category. And then up here we would put the amount. So probably go up by 5s. That would probably be the best, given there are 28 of you. 15, 20, 25. Now, so say that we collected it and we have 14 of you that said number 1 is your favorite number. We had 2 that said number 2 is your favorite number. And then we had 10 of you that said number 3 was your favorite number. So how we would do that is we would use our chart. All right, so there are 14 of you, so we're gonna go under the 15 just a little bit, and we're gonna draw a bar. That's 1 bar. Then we have the number 2, and there was only 2 of you. Well, it's less than, this 0 starts here, so it'd be just a little bit above that. And then we had 10 of you, so that would go right here. That is a bar graph. Or another word for a bar graph is a graph that uses horizontal or vertical bars to represent data. These are the bars. That's why it's called a bar graph. Now it could go this way too. They could have the categories over here and then the amount down here. So either way, if you see these bars, it's a bar graph. All right, next we have a line plot. Yep. A line plot is a graph using marks above a number on a number line to show frequency of data. So frequency is the amount of something. So the frequency of the amount of people that like 3 or 10. Okay, so the frequency, if I say, what frequency are you on the radio, then you're gonna tell me you're on 93.3. That's what frequency you're on. So a line plot is showing data across a line. So remember, this is your line. And then it's gonna have different categories. So let's say we're talking about shoe sizes. So we'll say, all right, we have sizes 12, 1, 1.5, and 2. Let's just pretend that that's our shoe sizes across the class. Now I know they're probably a whole lot bigger. All right, so say we had 5 people that had a size 12. So you're gonna represent it by an X or any figure. So there'd be 5 X's. Say 6 of you were a size 1. 3, 4, 5, 6. Should have put it down just a little bit. Then we have 4 of you are 1.5, and then 2 of you are a size 2. So this is a line plot. It uses a line to show the frequency of something, so the amount. Frequency is the amount of something. But it uses a line to show that, a number line. Line. Frequency. The amount of something. I'm gonna make sure. Amount of something. All right, our next one is a frequency table. That's a great question. So a table frequency is a table that shows the amount of something. Let me find my example. So we can use this up here. We'll use the bar graphs information. So frequency table. So it's kind of like a table that you would draw. All right. Sorry for the horrible drawing. I am not an art teacher. I don't claim to be an art teacher, but that's okay. All right, so we're gonna say favorite number, and then on the side we're going to say the amount. All right, so we said our favorite numbers were 1, 2, or 3, and we said there were 14 of you that liked number 1 the most, there were 2 of you that liked number 2, and there were 10 of you that liked number 3. That is a frequency table. So a frequency table is a table listing each value in a data set followed by a number of times it appears. So this is each number in the data set, because this is the data we took up here. And then this is the number of times it appears. Almost there, guys. I promise. Let's see. Now we have scale and interval. So scale, if you think about it as weight, our scale for this would be from 0 to 25. That's our scale. That's what we use, the amount. Intervals would be between the number lines. So we're going from 12 to 1. Now we could say, all right, well, if there was somebody that had a 12.5 shoe size, then that would be the interval. The interval is between one category to the next, or from one number to the next. And we'll look more into some of these data because we're going to be interpreting it, meaning that we are going to have to take some information that we have and answer questions with it. But all right, so that's our vocabulary for interpreting data. If you would like to write it down, well, no, you need to write it down. Let me make sure my intervals and scale. Scale, the number line with marks at fixed intervals used in graphing. So fixed intervals. So 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So my scale is counting up by 5s. And then we have our interval is the distance of space between values, set points between two numbers. So right here, this is my interval. That's my interval right there. 1 to 1.5, and 1.5 to 2. There are 3 different intervals on this line plot. All right, keep it peachy. Write all this stuff down and then move on to your next subject. All right, I'm glad you guys could join me on this wonderful day of videoing myself writing notes. Thanks for writing your notes. You're the best. I'm glad you're in the pack. I'll stop talking now. I'm tired. Just kidding. I'm not. Oh, yes, I am. That was a lie. And so let's do it. Let's get to it. You know what to do. Let's go do it. Bye.